How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman, and you're listening to Real Talk, where enterprise architecture and business architecture meet everyday reality. Straight talk, no jargon, no hype. Let's get real about technology, business, and how societies intersect. What is today's topic? Well, it's large language models, sometimes called the crown jewel of modern AI, artificial intelligence, and why I call them, very bluntly, copyright infringement as a service. Copyright infringement as a service. Let's get honest. These models could not exist without devouring billions of lines of human work, text, code, images, music, blog posts, novels. They are trained on our culture without consent, without credit, and without compensation. Sure, we know they don't store the exact files, but they reassemble patterns from them, enough to generate the voice of anyone about anything. In most industries, we would call them derivative works. In AI, we call them innovation. What makes large language models powerful is also what makes them problematic. They don't think, they predict. They remix and rephrase based on probabilities and not principles. Once again, they remix and rephrase things based on probabilities and not principles. And that is why you can ask for an Apple-style keynote or a Shakespearean speech about blockchain. Sorry for the giggles. And it'll deliver. But remember, the creativity didn't emerge from nowhere. It's an echo chamber powered by all of us. We are hearing human expression, just algorithmically restructured. The illusion of originality is brilliant and dangerous. Technology companies, they're saying learning, not copying. Nice idea. Until you realize the New York Times, George R.R. Martin, and Getty Images are all suing, just a few examples, over this exact defense. Here's the paradox when we think about it. They claim fair use when they take our work, then assert proprietary rights when they sell their outputs. What? Our data is public until an AI reads it, then it's private again. That's not law, that's sleight of hand. Let's not sugarcoat this. The technology is revolutionary, but it's innovation built on unpaid labor, on creative effort, mimed, masked, and monetized by somebody else. If a record label scraped every song ever recorded to train AI music, we would call that theft. In AI, it's called the future of work. Progress doesn't have to mean permissionless. There is a way forward for us little guys and also the big guys. Here's a few ways. Collective licensing, like royalties in the music world. Data provenance systems, tracing what went in before selling what comes out. Regulations with teeth. Protecting creators, not just corporations. Innovation becomes sustainable when it respects the people it learns from. Now, LLMs, large language models, have blurred the boundary between inspiration and imitation, unfortunately. And while they can mimic our voices, they cannot yet understand our values. The real ethical question is very simple. Not can the machine create, but should it, and who gets the credit when it does? Until that is answered, copyright infringement as a service isn't just my phrase of the day, it's the business model of our new digital era. You've been listening to myself, Sam Holcman, and this has been Real Talk, where we skip the fluff and dig into the truth, because the enterprise of the future depends on people who ask the harder questions. Thanks for listening. If this episode made you think, please share it. And join us next time, where we'll keep exploring the realities behind the buzzwords.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk. Be sure to join your host, Sam Holcman, again for another edition of our program. We'll have more real topics of discussion then.